Alright, let's get back to it. So, this is my SCCM server, so I'm gonna look at, this is some of the specs on this, VM machine. So, it's running Windows Server 2022 data center evaluation. It has 8 gigs of RAM installed, to Intel Core i5 3470, with 350 gigs of disk space. So let's go ahead and, since I already installed SQL Server, make sure that when you install SQL Server, I'm gonna launch it and I'll show you what I mean. You want to change the memory on it so that it equals to 8 gigs of RAM, which is 8192. As soon as this loads up, I'll show you. Well, that's it going. I'm gonna open up my DFS file share folder. So I'm gonna go to Microsoft and I'm gonna run this, and go to bin x64, and then go to I'm gonna extend gonna run this after I do this quick. So I'm gonna connect. Now you want to right click this database, go to properties, go to memory, and make sure this is set to 8A192. Same with this one. You could set this higher depending on how much memory, how much RAM you put in to your VM on your SQL Server. So I'm gonna close this out, and then I'm gonna hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna extend the schema. So and so it failed. That's because it doesn't have any delegation to that container. So go ahead and go to Active Directory users and computers, go view users, advanced features, right click, delegate control, next, and now you want to change objects to computers, and then now you want to type in your SCCM server, then click next, custom task to delegate, next, keep this default, next, and do full control, next, finish. Okay, so we can close this out. Now let's rerun this again. So okay, so that successfully extend the schema. So let's close this out. Go back. Now we want to go to our splash screen. Click OK. Run. Now run. And close this out. And rerun this again. Okay, so it's probably gonna close on me. Okay, now click install, run again, click next, and I'm going to install as a configuration primary site. Click next. So while that's at it, so let's see. So I'm going to install SCCM as an evaluation version. So click next, accept the terms and conditions, next. Now you want to download. This is the prerequisites file, so the language pack and all that stuff. So I'm going to create a folder onto the desktop. So I'm going to do desktop, new folder, language. I'm going to call it prereq. So click next, and then it's going to install the requirements into this folder. So once this is done downloading to the folder, I will come back to the video. Okay, so the prerequisites is done downloading. So this is the screen that pops up after that. So I'm going to click next and next, and then I'm going to name it the site code of HQ1 or headquarter 1, and I'm going to call it primary CKX Media SCCM site. And then click next, and then I'm going to do primary site as a standalone. Next, I click yes, and then so this is the database for your SQL creating for your SCCM server. So and this is the SQL port that you need to have open for SQL service to work. So I'm gonna click next and next. Next, I'm gonna do configure communication, then click next, next, and then I'm gonna check this, just keep it default. So next, and this is some of the prerequisite checks that it's gonna prompt. So these are all just warnings, so it's just letting me know that some of these are end of support, or I need to upgrade them and all that stuff. So that should be good. So now this is if you're gonna be using SCCM to push out Windows updates and all that stuff, you want to install the WSUS or services roles and features. We can do that after installing SCCM. So I'm gonna click begin installation, and this process may take about an hour or two to fully install. So once it's done installing, I'll come back to the video. Alright, so SCCM has been successfully installed. So I'm going to close this, exit out of this, exit out of the folder. Now I want to be able to push up Windows updates. So I'm going to go to Server Manager, and then I'm going to go to install the roles and features for WSUS. So as soon as this gets done loading, I'm going to go install that role and feature. So as you can see, SCCM has been successfully installed here. So go add roles and features. Next. Next. Now I want to do the Windows Server update services. Add features. Next. 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 Uncheck this. Next. Install. And this may take a couple of minutes for it to install. So once this gets done installing, I'll come back to the video. Okay, so it's done installing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the triangle, click Launch Post Installation Task, and then it's gonna do its thing. So as soon as this gets done working, I'll show. The next step is to go ahead and configure the settings. So I want to go to Administrative Tools, and then Windows Server Update Services. Let this finish first, and then we'll do that after. Alright, that has successfully completed, so close this out, and then close these out. So open up, go to Administrative Tools, open up the WSDS service, and then click Next, check this, Next, 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 start connecting. And this step might take a bit, so I'll come back to the video again.